Hey, I'm Walt, and I'm here with another financial video. All right. Today's financial talk is going to be a two-part about credit cards. This first part, I'm going to talk about how credit cards will prevent you from growing your wealth and having financial freedom. The second part, I'm going to talk about how I use credit cards to actually grow my wealth and to get closer to that financial freedom. All right. And it probably won't be what you think. But right now, for every 10 credit card holders, half of them are in credit card debt. And that credit card debt, on average, is $6,000 per holder. Now, I want you to think about that. Why would they allow you to have lines of credit in these credit cards that are more than what your take home pay is annually? Do a little exercise. If you have credit cards, total up your limits. How much is at your disposal? Then go and look at how much you bring home, or how much you actually, after deductions, actually brought into your household in 2025. You might be surprised to see that your credit card limits are far higher than what your actual take home pay is. And why would they allow you to have limits greater than what you actually have to pay it back with? Because of the cycle of debt, right? That cycle of debt looks like this. You carry over a credit card balance, they send you a statement. They tell you the minimum to pay. Let's say you have $2,000, right? If you pay that minimum, it probably will take you about 8 years to pay off that credit card debt. And that's if you no longer put any more purchases on that card. Now, along that 8 years, you are more than likely going to end up paying double, in some instances, triple what that $2,000 is. And that's why they do it. Because in order for the credit card lender to remain wealthy, you have to remain paycheck to paycheck and poor. And this is going to be a hard truth for a lot of people to realize. What you make a year does not matter. I don't give I don't care if you make $200,000 a year. I don't care if you make a $500,000 a year. If that income was to stop for 3 months, or just stop forever, and you never made that type of money anymore, what would you do? Would you be able to pay that rent until the rest of the lease is out? Would you be able to pay that mortgage, or would it get foreclosed? That car you have, would you be able to keep it? If you can't, then you're poor. And I think that in 2026, I think we started to realize this in 2025, but I think it's going to start to be more reaffirming in 2026 and going forward. Credit cards are not for people who have not mastered how to live below their means. And what I mean by living below your means is two things. Do you pay your bills off on time or before time? And number two, when you get paid, are you able to save money so that you have an emergency fund for at least 3 months? Because if you do not have those two key discipline points, you should not have a credit card. Because as long as you have that credit card, you'll never get to a point where you'll be able to create any wealth for yourself. The whole concept of the credit card is not to make your life better. Because that the benefit, the real true benefit of a credit card, most people do not take advantage of it. They think they do, but they don't. Because if the majority of credit card holders were taking advantage of the benefit of the credit card company, credit cards wouldn't exist. They only exist because the lenders are the ones who are overwhelmingly winning. And when I discuss how I use it in part two, the reason I can do that and the benefit, and they don't really care, is because for every person that does what I explain, there's tons of them that don't. So it doesn't really matter to them. But what I would say to anybody watching this video right now, if you have a credit card and you have debt on that credit card, tear it up, take it off your Google phone, your Apple phone, your Android, your Galaxy, whatever. Don't use it anymore, and create a budget, create a plan, and get rid of that credit card debt. Because if you truly want to get to a point where you can get financial freedom and create wealth, you cannot be a slave to the lender. You cannot be paying credit card companies month over month interest. I want you to do an exercise. Go and look last year. If you're carrying over credit card debt, look and see how much you paid in interest last year. Now think about if you had that money that you could put into the stock market, put in an S&P 500 index fund, an ETF, a blue chip stock, a dividend stock. Think about how much of a return you could really get from that in the long run, right? The things that you spent on that credit card, the 8 years that it would take you to pay off that balance if you do the minimum payments, those things are going to be depreciated in value if you even still have them. Meanwhile, that same money put into assets that actually grow in value as time goes on, imagine what they would do in 8 years. So let me know what you think below. Leave a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. But really, really think about it. These credit cards are not for people who cannot live below their means. Because if you cannot, you're the person that they're taking advantage of.